Welcome, 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 collectives. My name is Ora-gen, and this is the Ora-gen Channel. I want to welcome you back for another reading, another download, and another moment to spend time with collectives in this space. I'm so grateful that you are here. So today's message is somewhat like a download, but more so a thought, an energy that I'm picking up on strongly. And it's so interesting because these energies that I'm picking up on do not have the ability at this time presently to affect the collectives in the way that they were in the past. They do not have that ability. Something has shifted here in our timeline, or something has shifted in our experience where these energies are not easily able to reach collectives. And a lot of this is due to the fact that the collectives have done so much work to raise their vibration such that these low vibrational missiles that are sent their direction are not even able to reach them due to the level of the vibration that these energies that are sending these missiles are at versus where the collective is at. It's like launching a rock on the ground and you're trying to hit an airplane in the sky. It's not reachable. So with that being said, today's message, download, however you want to look at this, and definitely if you resonate with this message, like, share, subscribe, spread the word so we can get the messages out to more people. Today's message really centers in on the topic of energies that are surrounded by mirrors that they don't want to look in. Energies that are surrounded by mirrors that they don't want to look in. And isn't it true that every human being on this planet is truly a mirror for another human being? We see things about humanity that we don't like, and we also see things about humanity that we love, perhaps. Either way, when we look at others, we see an energetic reflection of self and of other. So this whole experience here is a learning process, and that's why we're all here, incarnated at this time together. But it's so interesting about some of these energies that are really coming up strong, because you can almost feel them in the energy, just really frustrated, angry, pissed off, because they are not able to have the effect that they want to have on the entire populace. Okay? And when I say that, I mean, yes, there's a good portion of the populace that is greatly affected by these energies in these ways. And I'm not talking about the challenges and struggles of life, things that are happening in our world. We are all affected by that. But there are some here who have been awakened to what is happening here on some deeper levels, not just what the news and the media wants to show us, but on spiritual levels, on energetic levels. And they're acknowledging these energies in those ways as well. And so they're doing work to heighten their vibration so that they are more helpful to themselves and to their friends, families, and associates and communities. And some of these individuals are actually talking with others, sharing space, holding space with others to help others to raise their vibration as well. Now, these energies that like things the way that they are and are surrounded by humanity, more mirrors, and they don't want to look in it, because what they would see is really the results of the work that they are engaged in, how harmful, how negative, and how toxic this work is. And by looking into those mirrors, they are constantly reminded of that. And some of you might say, well, they clearly don't care. And for some of these energies, that's absolutely true. But that's because they've literally taken a sheet, thrown it over the mirror, and walked away. They're no longer engaged with the learning process here on the planet at this time. They are solely focused on their goals and what they want to achieve, which is not in alignment with humanity. So in relation to this message today, these individuals that are surrounded by these mirrors that they don't want to look in, when we have individuals here in our timeline, in this experience, that are doing the work to heighten their vibrational level and share this energy, this information on how to do this with others, it frustrates these energies because it shows others a way that they could not see because of where they were at vibrationally. So just observing someone else, even if you haven't spoken with another person, others observing you, making these shifts and changes and having results in your life presently is proof, is evidence that it can be done. And these energies don't like that. So they attack you. How do they attack you? Well, energy is in everything. We could be feeling resistance in our lives in certain areas where we have set goals. Maybe we've noticed since childhood, we've had a really hard time with fitting in, air quotes. So we've since learned as adults, for those of us who had those experiences, it's quite okay to not fit in. As a matter of fact, it might even be preferred in some cases. But it was challenging. It was difficult. It wasn't easy to constantly be the odd person out. And for some of us who had a different form of a learning style, like myself, more angling towards a neurodivergent learning style, we were marked in school and placed in categories and groups. And this marking followed us all throughout our educational career. And even though it was just something to indicate that we did something different, it indicated that something was wrong with us because we didn't do what the group did. So this was a very challenging thing. And obviously, there's nothing wrong with someone who thinks in a different way. A lot of people who fit in with the norm in school, there were probably more people who were viewing things a different way, but they had the ability to be able to mimic or behave in a certain manner that helped them to fit in with the group. And then there were those of us who could not. So there might even be buried off in that group some people who are able to see what is happening in our world, but they're too afraid to stand out and be different. And so for them, they would rather just try to fit in. There is so much here in relation to these energies and how it has affected all of us. But when you're an energy that awakens and sees the bigger picture, not just on surface level, not just what's being shown to you, but you see those energies for what they are, and you see your energy for what it truly is, and you make the needed shifts and changes, and you learn something. You learn that there's a door. You learn that there's a key, and you learn that you can insert that key into that door and you can open it, and there's something else on the other side. Something that others standing right next to you don't even recognize. That is powerful. And that creates a ring of alarm and shock for these energies that want to bind everyone to seeing, feeling, experiencing in one way. And that one way is the way that these energies deem is best. which is under a state of control. Confirmation. But this message today is to remind all of you who are in this space, who have dealt with these challenges since childhood, going through into young adulthood, going through into adulthood. But now something is different because you finally figured out how to put that key in the door. You finally figured out how to open that door. You are protected on all sides. It's so interesting because I had a leftover fortune cookie. It was kind of smashed. I said I didn't really want to eat it, but I ended up eating it anyways. So as I was fixing my coffee, I opened the package up, took out a piece, threw it in my mouth, and started chewing it. And then I pulled out the little fortune cookie paper, which was kind of really stuck in there because the cookie was smashed. But I did get it out. And it was so interesting because it says, matter of fact, let me pull this image up here so I can look at it. I took a picture of it. It said, you will always be surrounded by true friends. And then it listed some lucky numbers, 8, 54, 28, 19, and 46. So these might be numbers associated with your age, ages where you experienced pivotal things, maybe the age of your awakening, months, years. I don't know. Maybe those numbers are significant for you. But what really struck me is you will always be surrounded by true friends. And I thought about it and I said, what a strange fortune cookie note. Because the average person existing in this timeline doesn't have a ton of true friends. At best, they might have enough to cover two hands. Maybe they have 10, maybe they have 5, maybe they have 1, maybe they have none. But that's not a common thought. And it's certainly, especially the way that life ebbs and flows, there's no guarantee that we will always have true friends at all times. But then I thought further about this particular statement in relation to the collectives. And I thought deeper. And it really put me in the mindset of our spiritual team. Our invisible, air quote, supporters that have been there since day one. That intuitive voice that they were able to trigger and help us to avoid catastrophic situations or scenarios that would not be beneficial for us. I'm sure some of you here have experienced that. I know I have. Near-death situations that we were able to avoid due to making one choice that we felt very strongly about. For some of you here who resonate with this message, you'll know what I'm speaking about. I can definitely speak to that. So in this sense, we've always been protected on all sides because we've always had that connection that we had the ability to tap into, our higher self, universal and source energy, our spirit team, our guides. We've always had that. When I think back on experiences that I've had that could have literally been the end of me, and for some reason, it just so happened that it wasn't. Or maybe the way I fell, I landed in such a way where I didn't fatally harm myself. These are the kinds of experiences I think back on and I say, wow, that was close. But was it? Something to think about. And maybe you have some experiences that you've gone through. Feel free to post those in the chat, or you can email me in the description box. I have my email address there if you want to send it to me. But either way, Those of us who resonate with this message today, we have been through some things and we have made it through those things to be here yet another day to continue with this challenging but most amazing journey. And there's a reason why you are here at this time. Never forget that. Just your energy being here at this time is an encouragement, an upliftment to others who are also awakening and seeing things for what they truly are. And you will always be surrounded by true friends, whether they're in the physical form, in 3D, where you can see them with your eyes, or whether they're your friends in the spirit realm, guides, universal support. You are loved and supported. That's pretty much the message for today. I might come back later and pull some cards on this, but honestly, I think I've said really what was strongly coming through for the collectives today. Just taking a minute to drop a note. Once again, if you have any thoughts, feelings, reflections, feel free to place those in the chat. If you resonated with today's message or just felt encouraged and inspired by it, also feel free to leave some inspiration and encouragement for others in the chat. You are greatly appreciated for that. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I look forward to being with you in the next reading. My name is Ora-gen, and this is the Ora-gen Channel.